actually the old Open Road that we're on. This was it up until about 1949. They came down here and just crossed there where the remains of the Savy Wall. That was the bridge across the river.
Oh, okay.
And about 3 months after they opened the new road, the bridge collapsed.
Perfect timing. Yeah.
Is yours an E, a B, or a C?
C.
Okay, you're up the top then, that's fine. If you were up as far as the lock, you're sort of in the rough area there.
You guys are bringing a lot of gravel in to fill in the paths.
Yeah, that should have all been finished over winter, but I don't know what your winter was like, but it was really weird here. It was really mild, but just rained the whole time. It never stopped, and it got to the point where we actually had to stop everything.
Yeah.
Poor wee Hamish was busy finishing the top path, but every time he ran the dumper up here with rock and stuff to make the path, he was sort of trashing the old one. So
right.
it was one step forward but two back.
Right.
We just stopped, and once we got up the top, I'll tell you about the trees and things, and it was the same. We just had to stop. Anyway, 2007 we got the land. First thing they did was just fire this track through from end to end. Did you come down from Fort William end or up from Oban?
Fort William, yeah.
So you would have come down through Durer, and then did you notice Durer Cemetery in your right
Yes.
hand?
Yep.
Yes.
Right. That's where the track comes out.
Oh,
Okay.
Just across the road from the cemetery. So sort of lengthwise it's car park to cemetery. And once we get up the hill a bit, I'll give you an idea of breadth. As we drive through, you'll notice 2 or 3 fairly big woods that have obviously been commercially planted before we got the land. This one we reckon is about 20 years old now. And this one is Sitka spruce, which is actually a North American tree.
Yep.
So it shouldn't be here. Certainly shouldn't be in horrible straight lines and fused together. You can see we've gone through and brushed off all the lower branches, and yet it's still so dark.
It's very dark, yeah.
You'll see it there. The forest floor is just dead. Nothing grows.
Right.
So there's nothing for wildlife. So they tend not to use it either. It's just one giant waste of space, really. Sitka's not particularly good wood. You're probably looking at pulp or toilet rolls of the future. It's not great. But over the next 5 years, it's in our plan to get rid of it all. So it'll make a huge difference. It'll open up
Oh, yeah.
new areas. I can't wait to see the back of the street. round the other side. So, car park to cemetery this way. Breadth-wise, the open road you came down is just down the other side of that hill. So
Okay.
it's from the road, and then, excuse me, we own up to the top of that first hill and down the other side.
Okay.
So that's it. It's about 207 acres altogether. What looks like a little fence running along the top there is actually these guys. Up until last year, everything we planted was staked, and then it had one of these covers on it. We've got roe deer, which are the wee ones, and red deer, which are the big ones. And traditional thinking was that was the way you did it, so that's what we did. Once you actually look into it, and if you kind of read up on it and see more modern thinking, they reckon that if you stake a tree, it can potentially give you problems later when it's bigger, because the wind and storm damage can just play havoc on it because it's always been supported.
Right.
It doesn't form such good roots. The other thing is this biodegradable cover thing, that costs us more than the tree.
Right.
So we could actually plant twice as many trees if we don't cover them, and the deer aren't suddenly going to double their appetite. So
Right.
I
Right.
reckon it was something that we wanted to try, but we just hadn't got to it. This year, I was talking about the weather, it was kind of forced upon us. Normally, as soon as the leaves drop, we start planting. So we've got all winter, we bring in school groups and teach them all about it, we get volunteers in, and we plant our trees for the year. This year, the pathwork stopped, everything stopped. We had over 20 inches of rain in December.
Wow.
January was worse, and February wasn't much better. The nursery were actually brilliant with us. They kept something like 2,000 trees in cold storage for us, which was amazing until you took them out.
Right.
And then it was just like flicking a switch. There was buds and leaves,
Yeah.
and they were just going crazy. And it was either get them in now or just we'd lose them, they'd just go in the bin.
Right.
So sadly, for the first year ever, we had to pay for help to plant, which we don't like doing.
Right.
Never had to do before. But if ever there was a year for a test, this was it.
Uh-huh.
It's so much quicker just to plant it and walk away rather than stake it and cover it. So there's 2,000 odd trees down the back of that hill, just planted naturally. And I really don't think it will be an issue. Before you guys were born, forests always grew without
Right.
stakes,
Right.
without covers.
Exactly.
And I don't know if you've seen our Facebook page with all
Yeah.
the spy cam
Yep.
shots. Well, there's 7 spy cams hidden up.
That's
the
where
hill
they
there.
are. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's where
So
you're getting the
I'm up
minks
down
and
like
the
a
deer.
yo-yo anyway, and I sort of look at the trees and think, yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
It actually looks much better as well, just aesthetically.
Yeah.
If you look at a hillside we've planted with these, I think it looks horrible.
Right.
But if you look at it just natural, it's perfect. It's just as it should be.